Good morning, leaders. It is the Leaders League meeting. It is April 15th, tax day in the United States for those of us that pay them. Um, I say that a little tongue in cheek because in the last couple of weeks I've been coming across people who have become state nationals and emancipated from paying taxes, which is fascinating. Anyway, so we are here and I don't have coffee. Stephen, you just made me so jealous. What I mean, how did I sit down without coffee? Okay, I got a little water here. Mm. So, I know Steve Patterson won't be here. I know Charla's normally here. She's out of town this week, so we've got a few people missing that we love to have here. But last week we got the chance to show off some websites. Steven shared his, I shared mine, Lisa shared four. That was amazing. And so here we are. Um, if and I know Lady Di, you're not able to share right now that you're not in a place to share. Johnny, do you have a personal branded website?
Uh, yes and no, because my situation, I'm holding back until the time comes, the right time.
Okay. Well, you know what? Here's the thing about a personally branded website is that there's billions, if not trillions, of websites at this point. Having it ready for when you're ready is
Mhm.
probably a really good thing. Waiting until it's time just means that when it's time, you won't have it. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Have something in place before you need it, not when you need it. Because that's, I mean, I'm still in that position as well, where like right now, I'm like, okay, I still have to get my privacy statements up. I still have to get a couple things wrapped up that are important for being really legitimately commercial more so than I've been. And, it always takes a little more, well, sometimes a lot more time to do than you think. So if you have more time now, now is the time to put that personally branded website together. So get johnnywatkins.now.site, start it. Put the stuff on it. Review last week's recording because there was a lot of really, really great ideas on there. I know I took some of them. Stephen, I think you've revamped. Do you want to share a little bit what you've changed since last week because of it?
Sure, I can share my screen if you like.
Yeah, please. That'd be great.
So what we discussed last week was I had a lack of color. Um, so what I did is simply add more color. I added these buttons up here at the top with different colors. A big urgent banner right below that. And then I changed the colors of my buttons and I added different along the way. Those are the big changes. I wanted to make it less blue and white because it was mostly just my primary color and very little of my secondary color. So that's what I did.
Awesome. Congratulations. Yay. I think that's beautiful. And so Lisa, Stephen was just sharing the changes he's made to his website based on last week's call. If you have anything to share on that, you're welcome to as well.
Yeah, any additional feedback is welcome as well.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I mean, I love it. I really do. I think you've added some nice pop. And you have a section here that's clearly what I love about this urgent section, the deadline to file is that it gives me a sense seeing it that that this is something that you're going to keep me up to date on, that I can rely on you to, to change out. And it also gives me the idea that I should come back and check your site more often. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's an additional thing that I really like about this section. I know on my website, for a few weeks, I did this and I feel like I should get back to it, doing just a little mini video in the top half saying, hey, this is what's up this week. This is what you need to know. It was a, 30 to 45 second video that I would change out. But we also know that Google and the powers that be really love to see an active website, one that is being updated. So once you create a website, don't let it become a static stone. You know, continue to add to it, continue to update it in some way, whether it's changing out photos, changing out information, might be. And if you can, obviously, if you can work that into kind of a system so that your system is that every Monday you put up a new video and every Thursday you add a new inspirational quote or something like that. Speaking of which, I have a gift for you all. Please remind me I have a gift for you. Um, and that's come out of last week as well. So anybody else have any updates to what they shared, any updates to their websites based on last week's meeting? You're welcome to
Yeah,
share that, right?
been gaining any weight.
What's that? Oops, okay. So I'm gonna pull up, I'm looking for it right now, but I do have a gift for you all. You are going to be able to join a team that I've created, and you can even just join it right away. You don't even have to be let in. I'm making this one public of all sorts of really beautiful quotes and things that you can share. I mean, I know we have our amazing memos and stuff like that, and it is wonderful. But my team has been creating these beautiful quotes for a long time, and we just came up with the idea last week that we should, A, be reusing them and not just putting them out one time, but also B, share them. Why not? We've got some really gorgeous stuff here. So I'll share my screen. And welcome, Robert. Great to see you. Welcome, Lisa. You popped in here now too. Mecca, you're back. I haven't seen you for a bit. Good to see you. And we're kind of rolling through our agenda loosely. But here we go. So I have a team content called, um, oh, funny. It looks like I have a whole bunch of team contents I didn't know about. Um, when you empower your team, oh, I'm in the wrong. I'm logged into the wrong account. I'm logged into my client's account instead of mine. Okay, so we'll come back to that. Meanwhile, while that's loading, oh, maybe it won't take that long. Let's talk about loading times because we did talk about that at oh, see, that was pretty quick. We talked about that at Now Club last weekend. Everybody's seen them, the 504 errors. Everybody's frustrated by them. And Justin assures us nobody can be more frustrated by them than him. No one can be more frustrated. And you know what? I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that one. I'm thinking it does bother him even more than it bugs us, for obvious reasons. And so, yes, they are absolutely working, trying to figure out what they need to do on that. They did reassure us heartily on that last weekend. The other discussion during Now Club last weekend was so here's what you want to go into Teams, go into Team Manager, and look for Joy Minder quotes and posts. And it's an open team, and you will find all sorts of really great quotes and posts that you can use. So a whole bunch of just really pretty images, inspirational things like that. So that's my gift to you. Um, and that's what we kind of talked about as, what do you think people will use more, Memo or Selfie AI or the surprise me button? And once again, the surprise me button has gotten better. Selfie AI, of course, was launched last Thursday. Woohoo! People are using it. People are loving it. It's not on mobile yet. I will use it far more when it is, because right now, having an iPhone and a Windows computer means it does not really talk to each other easily. But I'm excited when it is on mobile, and they said that they've hired more mobile app engineer type people to make that happen a little faster. That I think Selfie AI is going to be my number one. But Mimo gets launched Thursday. It's a big chance to again promote, bring people to Thursday's call that are not yet in nowsite, and of course, to reinvigorate anybody that is currently in nowsite but maybe not active. You haven't seen them a while, they're ghosting you. This might be a really great time to bring them back. Stephen Harris, by the way, congratulations on a new marketing AI member in your team. So let's see. Robert Blakely, you were there on Friday. Anything else to add about Now Club last week that we can share? Because we can't always share everything.
Not that I can think of. I mean, you kind of covered it. Biggest thing is that 504 that everybody was complaining about, myself included.
Me too.
Mimo on Thursday.
Yeah, Mimo
Good
Thursday.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my 504 is my biggest complaint, of course, like everybody else's, because I'm creating websites for people and they're like, it's not working. I'm like, ah, it's not my fault. Um, I do believe that my second biggest complaint though is that it's not working, I believe, and maybe I'm wrong. I could totally be wrong because they're doing updates. Like if your major group of people is in the United States using it, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., maybe don't do updates during that time frame. Maybe that would not be the best time, but I might be hallucinating. Maybe that's not why we're having a slower time with Mimo. Robert, do you have any insight into that besides what I know?
Well, for me, from my understanding, it's just the growth that we've had, bringing on everybody from Eric's team and stuff like that, right? So
Yeah.
I think that we need a new server. I don't
Hmm.
know if it's a dedicated server we have or a hosted server. I have no idea.
Yeah,
But
right.
normally when you get 504 errors like that, it's a server type thing.
Yeah. And they did say it's more than just adding servers or changing servers. They did specifically say that. And I'm not techie that way, but I do think the volume is certainly part of it. Absolutely. But the volume, and I've always noticed, I mean, I've been here since now for 4 years. Every time they're about to launch something new is when I would start getting more 504 errors. Oh, wait, last week they launched Selfie AI. This week they're launching Mimo. They just did an update on the CRM. I mean, all these updates and all these updates for 100,000 people, it probably is causing the problem. But there's got to be a way around it. And again, I'm sure they're working hard on it. So that's that. Anybody get into that team to get those quotes? I'm so happy to do that. Yay. So yeah, now you got them. Feel free to use them. Um, let's see. So let's see. Last week, then again, reminder for anybody that wasn't here, go back and check last week's video. And setting up your own branded website really truly is something that we should always have and be ready to share. By the way, look at the bottom. I've just started doing this in all the meetings I go to. I'm leannelyon.com. I bought the .com. If people want to see me and they see that I have leannelyon.com, they're not going to doubt how they can connect with me. Make it easy for people. So I changed that right in my Zoom settings that's my visible name. I toyed with .now.site and I decided against doing that. They get there anyway. The reason to do .now.site is it does put them directly there. But if they're going to get a 504, then maybe the .com isn't quite as obvious as to why it still doesn't make me look good. But let's see. And then I've invited several of you, if not all of you, I thought, but to participate tonight and tomorrow. There's a mastermind group happening. It is 3 hours per evening, but it's high value. You will get a lot of tools that you can actually use and that I'm using right now to start planning for events that can actually turn into, this thing called, it starts with an I. It's income, like massive income. And so really putting together what is our offers. And so all of us here, we are all with nowsite. We are all promoting nowsite, but most of us have the ability to do more. And I love that this came I was in a call last week, 5 days a week. It was an hour and a 2.5 hours a day. This morning I had to finish, um, I finished up listening to a couple of the calls because I'd missed a couple. So literally at 4:30 this morning, I was listening to the last couple of calls I'd missed. And there was just a lot of value in there in terms of taking a look at, um, where are we at? What are we doing? What are we serving? And one of the questions that was asked is, do you know something that could shortcut somebody else's path? Do you know the shortcut? If you knew, now what you didn't know then, if you'd known then what you know now, who could you share that with to help them shortcut their path? Because that is what you can sell, and that is priceless. It's priceless. If you can save somebody 1 year, 2 years, 5 years off of achieving their goal, how much more can they make? How much more can they do? Because you helped shortcut them. But you don't have to do it, and you absolutely should not do it for free. Anybody here know that I've been doing a lot of things for free for a long time? Lisa just grins, right? Stephen knows it. Lisa knows it. Diana knows it. I mean, I started in the past year to start charging for things here and there a little bit. I just did my taxes over the weekend. I saw my income. I saw my expenses. They don't match. And, but I've also seen the growth. I saw what I charged at first. I charged what I've been charging more lately. And it gave me encouragement to realize, I really am helping people in a significant way. And guess what? People should pay for what's going to get them ahead. Because Lord knows we all did. Right or right. Whether you went to college, whether you paid a speaker, whether you hired a coach, you paid to play. Why are we then going to turn around and give it away for free? I had this conversation with Lady Diana. She's giving me thumbs up. She said, yeah, she's talking with a person. She wants to come. She's looking at nowsite, but she wants it for free. Okay, that's not happening. And she just doesn't understand why she should have to pay for something to build her business. And I just said, well, when you build your business, are you planning to have an income? Because if you're planning to charge people at some point and have an income, then why should you not have to pay to get that built up, to start that? Am I right, or am I missing something here? Nope, I
Yeah,
said,
you don't go buy clothes off the street. You go buy them at the store where they built the building and paid for employees and turned on the lights. And, the same is true for digital marketing. What is your storefront? Your storefront is your software.
yeah,
Do you
yeah,
want to be a Macy's? Do you want to be a Target, or you want to be a dollar store? It's up to you.
yeah, totally and absolutely there. So, I mean, Diana and I were both on this call last week, and at the end of the call, and the coach was phenomenal. He's not my person, but at the end of it, he came down to his value stack offer, which some of the stuff he listed, I felt was like, really, nobody's paying $20,000 to learn how to spend money on Facebook. Nobody is doing it. But that was one of his value stack offers. And I'm like, no, just no. And the mastermind that I've invited several of you to tonight and tomorrow actually doesn't teach value stack offers, has a different approach to making a high value offer that actually is, well, he said he gets 25 to 30% of the people that attend will say yes. And so you'll learn that in that event tonight and tomorrow. If you don't have a link for that already, make sure that you got the email from me and that you emailed that person to request the link. If you need that email address again, please just ask me. This mastermind will happen again. So if this doesn't work tonight and tomorrow, just ask. I can get you a ticket into the mastermind in the future. So anyway, and then the last thing, another value from this past week. I know I'm just talking this time a lot more. Last week was very collaborative. So again, go back to last week. But I'm going to encourage us on the 15th. It doesn't happen the middle of the month, happens on the Monday all the time. So I'd like your input. Would you like to do a little bit of, like monthly or quarterly planning kind of en masse on in a group here? Because I got a really great outline, this morning, an hour ago, that we could implement at least some of it, I think, as a group. Not that we're doing it all with each other, but we all do have sort of similar aspirations in terms of creating a marketplace for our people. And so I think that we could add value to each other as well, just kind of lockstep. Now, I don't want to add another thing to do necessarily. All of us are busy. So this is not a we're going to thing. It's a question. Any thoughts here?
So rephrase your question. You're
The question
wondering
is,
whether or not
would
we
you
can
like to,
get
so
together.
we don't have a spotlight today. Would you like to take 15 minutes to run through? I'll ask some questions and we can write down some thoughts on what we're going to accomplish in the rest of this month, just in the next 2 weeks. Do you like that idea, just as a starter, just to see how it works?
Yeah, I mean, you guys, I suppose so. I'm one, I'm kind of funny to where I don't really make goals like that.
Yeah.
I just do shit. That makes sense.
Yeah, actually, I do.
Sometimes people sit there and make goals, and then maybe they might be too big of a goal versus just going out there and do what you got to do.
Yep.
But I'm open.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's, you do or don't as you wish. I mean, what I'll do is I'll do this. I'll describe the process. If you want to do it, you can come back to this video, write it down, do it. Or you can kind of scribble your notes as I kind of go along. Let me get back to the notes.
Can I
Um,
interject real quick? I'm just kind
yeah,
of curious. Blakester, I know you're highly productive and
yeah,
accomplish a lot. And so I'm thinking that there might be a system. I like it, do shit. That's one. But tell me more about this system of just do shit. Like what's the thought process? Because I'm similar in that respect, but I can't remember things. Like as I get older, or I don't know what's going on, but I don't remember. And if I don't write it down, I put it in my phone, create a task for it. I don't remember to get it done. Like I drop the ball and I forget to send people things. What do you do in moving that forward, like to get shit done, to make sure that you're staying in touch with people and keeping up with all of the things that you're doing?
Oh, wow, that's a good question. It's kind of a broad question. Um, if I could summate everything realistically, right, because of my military experience, I am really good with time management. So when it comes to time management, I look at my day and what I have to accomplish, and in essence, it's what's most important, right? So as an example, we were talking last week about doing our websites, which I was in the middle of doing anyway because I needed to, update my website or whatever. So I was doing that and running into the 504 hours. If I'm doing something and it's consistently taking more time than it should take, then I'm gonna think, okay, what else can I check off, right? So in essence, I'll have a daily list of things that I want to try to accomplish. And if I need to, I can write them down. Most of the time, it's just in my head. It's like, okay, I need to get this, and this done, you know? So I'll just go through the process of the day. I start sometimes at 5 o'clock in the morning because I've got sleep apnea. So I'll wake up in the morning and I'll be able to start creating the processes that I want. I'll be able to go into my AI as an example and create my post that I want for the day. This is at shoot 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't post until 8 a.m. though, right? So in the meantime of that 5 a.m. or whatever, I'm on Facebook and I'm doing my likes and my comments so that I can generate, the
Mm.
algorithm going. At 8 o'clock, boom, that's when I do my post. I typically, when it comes to social media marketing, especially on Facebook, I only post once, maybe twice, at the max 3 times per day. Part of that reason is because if you post too many times, then you're not allowing that algorithm to work for you and work in your favor. So my first post of the day, what I tell my people is go for the post of the day award, right? And what I mean by that is, and I've mentioned this before, especially in a couple of the nowsite meetings that they do. You know, the AI that we have is great, but it's still very important for us to read what it actually says and before we just post it up there, right? So a lot of times, I don't know if you guys have noticed this or not, but the way that it's structured, because it's marketing, at the very end, it'll try to ask a question like, what's your biggest, darkest secret? Or what's your biggest part that you need in life help? You know what I mean? If you ask a question that somebody has to think too much about, they're not going to comment, right? I mentioned this the other day
Mm-mm.
because we were in there and this one girl was laying, yeah, I don't know why people aren't commenting on my stuff. And she was all on the negative side of things. I was like, look, just because you comment doesn't mean that everybody's going to resonate with it, right? So that first comment of the day, it has to resonate with your
Right.
audience. They had to read it and they had to be like, she's right or he's right. When you have that thought ingrained in the mind, then now you'll get more people that are going to like, you'll get more people that are going to comment. So my point is that that's all done. All the preamble of everything that I'm going to do in the day starts before 8 a.m. 8 a.m. I do my post. After 8 a.m., now it's just having conversations with people all day long. That's it. You know, I might do, our meetings for AI. Every Monday, I've got my own mastermind that I do with my team. This week, Monday through Friday, once a month, I do my boot camp. Within that boot camp, I'm teaching all of my people, all about fonts and colors and the psychology behind things and literally creating their websites. That's my ultimate goal is to have them create the Lisa Mosby dot now dot site, the Stephen Harris dot now dot site, so that they have a way to generate leads. And I also try to teach people that we should always be selling ourselves on the front end and now side or whatever else that we're selling on the back end. There's too many people that are going out there, and even myself, I can get caught up in it, and I got to reel myself back in, especially when we're like, "Ooh, selfie AI." So we tend to want to put those posts out there when, in all actuality, we really should be careful about putting it out there. Part of the reason that I say that is because name association can be both good and bad. This is just something that I've learned through my experience. If somebody had a bad experience with nowsite and you say the word nowsite, well, they're going to automatically think bad things, right? So if I go and I say nowsite on the front end, I'm not giving that person that had the bad experience the chance to be able to rectify that, right?
Right.
So long story short, and I know I kind of went on a little bit of a roller coaster there. I pretty much summarize in my head what I need to get done for that day. And if I need to write it down, I'll write it down. I mean, I'm just really good at time management. And then typically, I'll be done with my day about 2 or 3 o'clock, and then I'll go play video games out there. And as I'm playing video games, I'll check my phone. And if I got somebody that commented, I'll comment back if I need to pick up the phone or if I get phone calls, or you know, getting people that are on while I'm checking my emails. Anybody that signed up for like a calendar, so schedule those times. I got to pop those people in there as well. And then, of course, you got your teammates that out of nowhere, they're like, hey, Robert, I need help. I need this. I need that. And then you've got to be able to find time for those people too, right? So
What
it's
I'm
just
hearing
really,
is you really do use time blocks. You have your
yeah,
blocks in the morning, you have lists, whether
yeah,
they be in your head or sometimes you write them down, you're using lists. And
yeah.
then you have systems in place, the things that you're using, the tools, whether it's the phone so you can see the chats, you get notified, you have your set meetings on Mondays, so you've got your systems in place. And I think that's where Leanne was going with this, is that there are things, there are habits that we've created for ourselves. And some of us may have bad habits. And it sounds to me, with your military background, you've been able to establish through behavior good habits that
Yeah,
are really automatic. They're on a system,
absolutely,
they're rote,
absolutely,
they're automatic. Many of us don't
1000%.
have those automated systems in place.
Right, 1000%. And this triggers a thought in my mind, and hopefully this doesn't sound weird or messed up. It doesn't take, um, and no offense, obviously, to Leanne, it doesn't take a morning call like this for me to get on with Leanne and you guys to motivate myself to go do the shit that I got to do.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm even selective on the things that I join. When it comes to nowsite, I started off going to the daily Monday through Friday. But after a while, it's like, okay, I don't need to be at that meeting anymore. At one point in time, I was doing it because I'm a leader, so I have to, I can't ask my people to be on it if I'm not on it, right? But then now I'm at the point to where at 10 o'clock when that meeting starts happening is when I typically will get somebody that'll ask me something in my inbox that they need help with.
Hmm.
So I'm cautious about my time and how I spend it, I guess is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, and truly, this
Even
is
this message coming on this Monday meeting, Leanne knows it took me a couple days, actually a couple weeks to finally pick up and say, okay, it's Monday morning before my normal Monday morning, just adding something into the routine. But then it is just like that. It's systemized to where, okay, I've got this day, this day, this day,
Mhm.
and I know that the weeks that I have my boot camp, well, those days are days that I don't do my call on Thursday for got backup, or my Monday mastermind is 1 hour instead of 2 hours, just subtle little variations. But then it's all ingrained, right? The other thing too to consider is obviously in the back office of our now site with the daily checklists, right? So
Lots of
that's part of
systems.
my
Yeah.
daily routine as
But
well. Going through there,
beautiful.
I got to find out, oh, somebody's payment didn't go through. So then I could do a little screenshot and send it over to that person and say, hey, I found this morning, you know,
Yeah.
none
Let's
of your
check in with
business.
Diana. Yeah.
Yeah. So I see Diana's raised her hand, and
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
I just want one quick thing before I get to Diana too. I know I've told several of you, but if you go to to my website, Joyminder Solutions, click on curated connections. You'll get here, scroll down, and you'll find this productivity service. If this helps you, if this can serve you, you can get 1 month of a free trial of this productivity service. Just by following the steps listed here. You can try it for free. Here's my little video about it. And it is really just signing up to have focus blocks. You just actually jump on with other people, and you declare, this is what I'm doing. And it's just that accountability. This call really isn't about accountability as much as I hope. It's more about inspiration, and with like-minded, motivated, now site-based marketing leaders, marketing and marketplace type leaders. So people who have a bigger vision than maybe just now site. I know certainly Robert has that as well with a lot of his other tools that he's also supporting. So affiliate marketers, most of us, right? So if you want
Yeah.
to check that out, go ahead and do that. Something else before Diana?
Oh, yeah, I was just going to mention that when it comes to basically organizing your day or making, Lisa, what you were speaking of, this we might have to have a girl talk after the meeting. I don't really
Mhm.
believe in just girl talk because we all have females and men have females in their family. But
Yeah, you'd
at
be
this
surprised
point,
what ladies tell me.
yeah, yeah, but really at this point in time, and this is some new information that I had just came across. At this point in time, one of the major things that happen, of course, to women is that we find ourselves having a few cognitive changes that are related to perimenopause and menopause, this, as I said, this time of life that make it a little more difficult to maintain the types of habits that we had before. I know before, when I was younger working in corporate America, I was an organizational beast. I handled myself pretty much flawlessly. I trained people, and I'm having trouble at this point in time in my life because there have been these hormonal changes that make it very, very difficult. But and I know that's kind of a an aside that you probably would not have expected, but Lisa, sometimes it can be things just as simple as that. Things that we really don't know about, things that there's not a lot of research on it. There are a lot of things coming out about it that just make doing what we absolutely know that we used to be able to do, but for some reason now we can't do it as well as we did in the past.
Yeah,
And that's my aside. I know it's
yeah. So I'll wrap this up quickly with just these. Oh, here we go. Press shift, whatever. Um, just a quick notes. I mean, so the upside, I mean, I'm a lot like Robert. Like for a long time, I've just been doing the thing, doing the thing. Okay, new thing, do the thing, do the thing, new thing. But where I'm trying to go to get to, and what I with the income goals that I've set and the other goals, moving on to a boat goals kind of deal, sometimes I know I have to be working on the bigger picture some of the time, not just the immediate what's in front of me. And so that's what
mhm.
I kind of liked about this is that here's the basic pieces. First is what did you accomplish? This is a weekly planning thing. Um, Accomplished last week. And I'll answer that question. And then you can do business and personal. They did business and personal for each of these. So then what were three main wins in each area? And again, having a little bit of time on a Sunday night, maybe to just take a look back at last week and make a little bit of a plan for the future is part of it. What were last week's challenges
Mhm.
and what were last week's lessons, right? Because you don't get challenges if you don't see a way to improve or do something better. So that's the start of it. Then the next section is to move on to review your goals. Review goals. What do you want to accomplish by end of the year? And for me, I do have a very specific income goal that I want to accomplish by the end of the year or more. I have three goals by the end of the year. They said list three goals for the end of the year. By the end of the quarter, which is now July 1st, would be the beginning of the next quarter. So, and then three goals by the end of the month and the specific tasks and projects to get
So,
each done.
Leanne,
Yeah,
do you mind if I say a few things?
no, go for it while I'm
And
typing.
and I don't mean, first off, I want to preface this. I'm not trying to be counterintuitive here at all. The problem with what you're doing right here
Hmm.
with
Yeah.
talking about goals is most people don't know number one, how to goal. They don't.
Hmm.
If I was to solidify and make things simpler for everybody in here, if you're looking to make, $1,000 or more a month, then you need to be asking the closing question at least 100 times per month. When you go and you look at how many people that you're bringing into your business, you need to also think about, well, what are my closing percentages? What do I mean by that? Well, out of 100 people that I talk to, how many of those people would say yes, right? These are all the things that I talk about in my boot camp stuff. You not knowing how many people that you have to talk to is a detriment because as an example, right? I always go back to my direct marketing days. When I would go out there and I would knock doors, I knew that I would close 50% of the people that I talked to, right? So that meant if I needed 10 deals, I had to talk to 20 people, and 10 of those people would tell me no. So that's where I learned to embrace those no's, because the quicker I got through those no's, the quicker I got to the yeses. But then going through those no's, you start learning, what people are going to tell you so that you can answer objections in advance. And then your closing percentages should get a lot higher. For me, as an example, if I go and I do a demonstration for somebody, I'm going to close them about 95 to 98% of the people that I talk to. That's getting them on a demo, showing them what's going on, but it's also getting the right person on that demo, right? So when I go and I look at goaling as an example, one thing that I try to do is I try to goal myself, if there's such a word, is at one per week. The only way that I'm going to get that one per week is to go and talk to and start off at least 10 to 50 conversations per week, right? So it's about having the conversation. I can sit here and say, well, I've got a goal of 4 people per month, but then how am I going to get there? Right? Now I've got to do the numbers. If I don't know the numbers, then I can't do the numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Most of the time, somebody will say, as an example, um, yeah, I want to make $100 with nowsite. Well, have you made $100 on anything before? Right?
mm-hmm.
I always tell people your first goal is to get one person. That's it. Now, once you get that one person, that's like your biggest door that you're ever going to run across, right? Once you get that first person, then okay, now it's a little bit easier because you've gotten that one. Now you should focus on 2 more so that you get it for free, right?
Right.
Then you focus on another 2 more and another 2 more, and just like two at a time, if that's the case, versus somebody that's going to come in and say, well, I'm going to bring in 40 people this month. They're just unrealistic goals that most people set, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So when
And
I
I
see this,
actually have spent quite a bit of time, and I think a lot of people here do. We're none of us are beginners. None of us.
right,
And
good.
so that's why we have this conversation so that we are not talking with newbies or, that's why you're speaking, because you're not a newbie. You are accomplished. You do achieve. And likewise, when Steve Patterson, Lisa Mosby, Stephen, we're all achievers. We've all achieved some level. We're all looking to up level where we're at. This is what I have set my biggest goals, my landmark vision. My biggest goal for this year, retire my husband to start his own business on the side, have a 25K monthly income. Yes, I have done that in the past. Yes, I can get there again. And
Oh,
I'm not going to do it just with Nowsite. It's not going to happen. I could
right.
not do that many conversations, but I can do it with other things, run 2 summits and set up the rest of my systems. My biggest goal for the quarter, have at least one 10K month, run the summit and at least one challenge, and have all of my primary websites complete. But if I don't have these laid out in front of me, what am I going to focus on? What am I going to pay attention to? And in this case, there's actually a tracker down here for 3 things to do per day, working towards these goals. And so, as I worked through this system this morning, I'm like, okay, what are my top 3 goals for this week? I have fitness and health goals, but I also have, for my business, I have to make sure that my 4 current clients are really well taken care of. Are they so well taken care of that they would be testimonials for me because this is $1,000 or $2,000 package we're talking about. Am I taking that, for me, that's a really big thing to make sure that they feel really well cared for so that they will give more testimonials for me so that I can bring on more people. Number two, find speakers for my summit. I have to have them. The summit starts, in, well, 4 weeks from tomorrow. I have to have my speakers lined up. I need my videos done. I need my websites done. That's pretty important. And number three for this week is to get my disclaimers up. So and really it's make sure my clients are taken care of, find speakers for my summit and start advertising my summit and get all my websites wrapped up. Do I have the disclaimers that I need on our website? Have I put the affiliate disclaimers on all my websites? Because they need to be there. Do we have them there before we start getting out in the world as an affiliate marketer and so forth? So just sharing those goals very openly now. And
No,
it's
I
been,
love that. The way that you have it puts a lot of it, it makes it crystal clear. As I was going to say earlier when Lisa was talking or asking me that question, if nothing else, write them down on a piece of paper next to you so you know what you have to get done. That's honestly why I don't need to write them down anymore, is because I've written them down so much that I can now put them into my head.
yeah,
The other thing too is having an Apple, it helps to have notes, right? So I use note section all the time.
yeah.
If there's
I
something
just
that pops up into my head, immediately it goes right into notes so that I can make sure that I get them done. And I
And right
like those
now,
little
I'm
check
physically
boxes.
rewriting those. I rewrite those goals every morning. That is actually part of my system right now is rewriting my goals every morning.
Good job.
Otherwise, they won't become part of who I am and what I'm going for.
There
Lisa's
you go.
showing her
Yeah.
phone too. Yep.
There you go, Lisa.
Yay, Lisa. So yeah. So kind of ended up being a goal setting workshop today. Yay. Or not just goals, not a goal setting workshop. That's not what this was, but a productivity workshop. What are each of us doing? What's Robert doing? What am I doing? What's Lisa doing? What are we doing to get the stuff done that we need to get done to move our businesses forward and achieve the goals? So it wasn't a goal setting workshop, but it was still a what are we doing to move forward? I mean, Robert, what's your big goal toward by the end of the year? Where do you want to see your business?
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't do that.
You there
I want to see my business, and I know this might sound funny. I want to see my business where God puts it.
you go. Okay.
He's the guy that gets on the airplane, just goes to the counter and says, "Yeah, give me a ticket."
Right. And you
I
know
do
what?
like spontaneity, that's for sure.
And there's not a that's not a wrong way to do that, There's
Right.
I
Well, look, here's something that everybody on the panel needs to understand, right?
yeah,
Like, I don't have to do what I'm doing when it comes to network marketing and
yeah,
affiliate marketing. I'm pretty much retired. You know, I do it for the love of it, and I also do it because I have to leave some kind of legacy. I've got over 40 years of experience direct marketing door to door and sales that I just can't let go to waste, right? So
yeah.
for me, I love being in the atmosphere of training people, and I've done it for so long. And for me, I really love it when my students get those aha moments and they click and they get it and they start seeing results, you know?
Which goes right back to what we said earlier that, we all have experience, gifting, abilities that can help somebody get where they want to go faster. And
Amen.
work is worship is something that I put down into my thing because I just said, our work, some of us are called into our work as a form of worship, as a form of praising our God where we are at for the gifts that he gave us and also to do his work in the world. And
Hey,
so if we do that,
do you want the questions that I ask people when I pre-qualify?
uh,
Do you want those?
yeah,
So you got a pen and paper?
pre-qualify all the time.
So the biggest and first question that I always ask people is, what's your vision?
Hmm.
Do you know these? Okay, so it's what's your vision? And a lot of this, you have to understand it's coming from a psychology side of things. I want them to tap into whatever their vision is. I also want to try to rub salt on the wound when it comes to their pain.
Hmm.
right? So what is your vision? So in essence, like how much are you looking to make per month? What do you want the money for? Right? Tell me a little bit more about that. Like, what is it to pay off bills? Is it to, retire your husband, whatever the case may be, right? Let's see. What's your vision? How much are you looking for? Now I forgot the questions. What do you want? What's your vision? What do you want the money for? Oh,
What's my vision?
hold on a second. I
How much money, right?
just
But the
wrote
vision is, the money is actually how you get the vision. And a lot of people think that the money is the vision, but the vision is to support the actual goals,
one
which
second,
is kind
one
of
second,
fun.
so that I don't screw up here. But typically what I'm saying is, first off, what's your vision? What do you want the money for? And then the last question that I'm always going to ask that person, which is the question that I talked about before, that you need to ask 100 times per month, is on a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you? And if that person doesn't say 10, then they don't qualify, right? There's so many of us that, because we're in network marketing or affiliate marketing, somebody decides that they want to jump in. We have to understand that there's business builders and there's, people that are just going to use the product. If you're looking for more business builders, pre-qualify them, asking them that question on a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you? If they don't say 10, then they don't qualify. They're going to typically most likely be just a consumer, right? So you can pull away, do what we call the takeaway if you want to. But anyway, it's what's your vision? What do you want the money for? And then what I'm doing when I'm having that conversation, right, is I'm listening to what they're saying. Let's say it's $1,000 per month to do whatever, whatever. Then my next question is if I could show you a way that you could earn X amount, which is the amount that they're looking for, and it would only cost you X amount of dollars per month. Is that something that you would be interested in?
Hmm.
So that's a preface before you ask how serious they are,
Yep.
right? So in essence, you're pre-qualifying them to see about the money thing, right? Is money going to be an issue or an objection,
Right.
right? So in essence, those four questions you can get away with.
Yeah.
But the key is asking questions and letting them talk, right? And ultimately, if they're telling me, something like, well, I want to make $5,000 in 30 days, then you have to bring them out of that, out of the cloud that they're in and say, well, look, that's a great place to think about going, but let's be realistic, right? And I try to drop them back into real time. And then what I always do too is I ask them and say, how much money do you need per month in alignment with asking them about their vision? How much money do you need per month right now to walk away from what it is that you're doing? And
Mhm.
a lot of times people will still try to overinflate that number. And I'll be like, no, no, like, what are your bills right now? If it's $1,000 per month, the thing that I normally do is I say, okay, so let's double it then. So if it's $1,000 per month that they need, then I'm going to say, okay, well, I think that 2,000 would be a lot more realistic than 5,000. What do you think? Right? Then that helps get their buy-in so that their head isn't out of the, way up here. They get more realistic, and then you're asking them, okay, if I could show you a way to make that 2,000 per month, and it was only, let's say, $99 if you're doing the marketing part of nowsite, or maybe you're just sharing the my AI, and it was only $29 a month to get started.
Yeah.
Would that interest you? Right? And you can tailor that to whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
If it was, $2,000 per month and it was only 199 to get started, would that interest you? But you're pre-qualifying them, you're finding out whether or not they have the money to join, and then finding out how serious they are. And if they don't say that 10, well, then that's up to you on whether or not you want to bring them
Yeah.
into your world.
What's fun is what you just said is this is actually what came up on the Bible app this morning is my dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
That
James
was
1st,
funny.
19. James first, James 1:19. There we go. I can say that. Yeah, I know that we're at the top of the hour, so some people will have to jump. But Robert, thank you for sharing all that you did. And again, yeah, I get it. I think for those of us who are solely working on selling now site, especially, definitely come back, reread, re-listen to this video, take even better notes. Think about what Robert shared. Are you in line to have 100 conversations a week? If that's what it's going to take to find those tens. If you have other, like I'm not going to hit 5,000 this month in Now Site in 30 days. That's not happening. But that's the point of having a larger, bigger vision and another offer. And I think a lot of us are, starting to look at what other offer can we do besides keeping Now Site part of it. Nobody's going to work with me if they're not using Now Site. But
Well,
what
that's the
else can I
tools,
be
man.
doing for people? Because there's a lot that I can be doing for people, and still also be gaining that consistent gain of residual income through Nowsite. Oh, by the way, it's payday, so go get your money today.
Already
Oh my
did that
goodness.
at 5:30 this morning.
Yeah. And with
But yeah,
that,
now site, the way that I look at it,
Uh,
Leanne.
uh, Robert, we're going to end the call just to keep
Yeah,
the time, but we're going to keep going. So
yeah.
anybody that wants to, this is my Q&A time starting now on the same link. So it all works well. But we'll continue on with the conversation. It's just that for the Leaders League part of this, I'm going to end the call. Come back. If you're watching this video, please come back. Join us live 9 a.m. Central Time on Monday mornings for this kind of, and again, it's not a rah-rah, it's not a go get 'em. This is not a team call. Many of us are on different teams, and that's okay. What this is for leaders to get together and talk about and share their ideas, their inspirations, and I'd really welcome everyone to be here. So thanks for joining us, everybody here. We will continue in the meeting after the meeting right now.